This presentation, titled INOVA Fairfax Hospital Performance, Heart Failure, was prepared and presented by Taylor Galownia, a Master's of Health Informatics student at George Mason University. The data used in this case study analysis was from the Hospital Compared Dataset provided by the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services. All available data was included from July 1st, 2013 to June 30th, 2018. It is important to note some limitations. First, some records used in analysis were not available for a hospital in a certain year in which it was not yet established. It is possible that conclusions could vary due to the exclusion of the not available records from analysis. Second, only 5 out of the 160 plus measures were analyzed in this case study. We should not assume the same conclusions drawn from these 5 indicators apply to the rest of the measures. Lastly, the statistical process control was performed at 95% confidence, meaning we would expect 5% of the data to randomly fall outside of the calculated control limits. This case study assessed the performance of INOVA Fairfax Hospital in comparison to 7 of its competitors in the same Northern Virginia, D.C. region. The 7 hospitals include Reston Hospital Center, Virginia Hospital Center, Stone Springs Hospital Center, Centera Northern Virginia Medical Center, Sibley Memorial Hospital, George Washington University Hospital, and MedStar Washington Hospital Center. To compare performance in respect to heart failure treatment, I selected quality measures that I felt would be important to a patient suffering from heart failure. The graphs shown on the next 5 slides share the same general formatting. The 2 red lines represent the upper and lower control limits. The blue line represents the INOVA Fairfax Hospital observations. The x-axis lists the time periods during the analyzed time frame, and the y-axis shows the scores, payments, or ratings, depending on which measure we are looking at. The first performance indicator shown above is the heart failure 30-day mortality rate. We can see that the heart failure 30-day mortality rate at INOVA Fairfax Hospital falls within the upper and lower control limits for all 3 time periods. It also appears that the rate has been decreasing over time for INOVA Fairfax. The second performance indicator is the risk standardized payment associated with 30-day episode of care for heart failure. The highlighted points on the graph shown above show that INOVA Fairfax is above the upper control limit for all 3 time periods. It also appears the payment is increasing over the time frame for INOVA Fairfax. The third performance indicator is the heart failure 30-day readmission rate. We observe that INOVA Fairfax is within the upper and lower control limits for all 3 time periods. It also appears that the readmission rate has slightly decreased during the time frame for INOVA Fairfax. The fourth performance indicator is excess days in acute care after hospitalization after heart failure. INOVA Fairfax Hospital falls within the upper and lower control limits for all 3 time periods. The number of excess days also shows to be decreasing over the time frame for INOVA Fairfax. The fifth performance indicator is the hospital overall rating. In 2018 and 2019, INOVA Fairfax exceeded the upper control limit. In 2017, they were within the upper and lower control limits. In summary, INOVA Fairfax Hospital was the same as its competitors in heart failure 30-day mortality rate, heart failure 30-day readmission rate, and excess days in acute care after hospitalization for heart failure. INOVA Fairfax Hospital was worse than its competitors and risked standardized payment associated with 30-day episode of care for heart failure. INOVA Fairfax was better than its competitors in overall hospital rating. This concludes my presentation on the performance of INOVA Fairfax Hospital compared to its competitors. Thank you.